Okay.
Welcome back to the Santiago show, and I'm here with Jess.
And I'm here with Nick.
And I'm excited to be back. We did that though. That was fire, bro. That was fire. We literally just cooked up that like little show intro in like literally
30 seconds.
30 seconds ago, 40 seconds ago. Anyway, so this is gonna be the first episode that is on YouTube. The camera's working, and I think that's a good thing. It shouldn't be a problem now. But for those of you who didn't catch the last episode, this is my brand new co-host, my bestie Westy. Nah, that was mad cringe. I'm never saying that again. Anyway, this is my new co-host Jessica. And so we're gonna get right into it. So today we're gonna talk about something a little bit different. And I think this is a conversation I feel like you would carry a lot because I don't know, like I'm curious to what you have to say. And we kind of talked about it a little bit before the show and before we decided, okay, what we're gonna talk about this week, and what's how the show's gonna look. And you were really excited when I said this. So, really, what we're gonna get into is it possible to fall out of love, right? And obviously that sounds a little bit vague, right? So what does that look like? Well, I'll tell you what. Let's start the conversation off with this, okay? You're dating, I don't know, John.
All right.
And you and John, you guys date, and you're talking, and everything is going fine, and I would say you guys are probably like a year and a half in the relationship, 2 years maybe, and I don't know, feelings start to change, things start to change, and you look at, and one day you go to this person and you look at them, and you realize that's not the person who like you really once thought you loved. I don't know, is that possible? Do you think like is that something very real? Is that like to walk me through that, Jessica? Like, I need to hear what you have to say on that.
All right, I'm
I'm
just gonna lay it out on the table.
Lay it all out on the table.
Okay, so, well, I'm not dating some John, but
okay,
just from personal like experience and what I've come to learn throughout my years. I've kind of realized this, and it was kind of crazy when I realized it. I feel like I'm honestly too young to answer this question, and this is why. So, throughout your life, teen years, like 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, that whole just range, and just for your whole life, you'll come across people, you'll meet them, and you'll build that bond with them, share memories, go and do things, and you'll think that you love that person. But on the flip side of that happy spectrum, there's two people who they're not truly connected. Because if you're thinking this question, like, is it possible for me to not love this person anymore? I don't think you're really in love with them in the first place, because some people will say that you're in love with somebody, but it's like you're in love with somebody who, let's say, blocks you when they're mad at you. Mm-hmm. Or somebody who needs 3 days to a week to not talk to you. They need their time. It's okay to take that time to, yourself. But I feel like if you're truly committed to somebody and you really love them, you wouldn't really need that. That wouldn't be required. Like, if you're really, with somebody and committed and you truly love them, you're gonna be like, nah, like, let's work this shit out. Like, let's get through this together. Like, that's the whole point. That's what I'm trying to, get across. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, let me tell you this. I think, I don't know, I disagree, but just a little bit. And I say that because I think that people change. In life, we are humans, and humans evolve, right? I think, you're not the same person you were 3 years ago. You're not the same person you were 6 months ago. And if you're like me and your life is crazy and, you go through so much stuff, like, my life is just bananas. You're not the same person you was last week. I think that considering that, people, we talk about love, and you talk about being with somebody and having a relationship and, really going through the motions and, things are a pretty serious, committed relationship. I think things start to change, right? For example, and this is something I speak about all the time, with my guys, when we sit and talk, when you slide in a girl DM, you got all the energy, like, yo, what's up? I'm so-and-so. You look good, blah, 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 blah. You fast replying, you know what I'm saying? Every time she hits you back, you replying mad fast, right? But 2-3 years, let's say like, all right, you got a relationship by you sliding the girl DM and things work out. This is a successful shot at sliding in somebody DM, which is like really weird, like rare nowadays, really because rare nowadays, I don't know about y'all, but my defense in my DMs is like on point. I play Michael Jordan defense, you feel me? You ain't getting in my, nah, bro. But, you know, let's say this thing happens and things are going to change. 3 years down the line, you're probably going to just respond 10 minutes later instead of just now, depending on what it is, obviously. But, you know, probably just like, you know, you're on, like, and this is speaking from experience, playing 2K, right? I'm playing 2K, whatever the case is. And, oh, girlfriend texts me. I'll get back to that. But now if that's girl that you slid in the DMs and you slid her and she responded to you while you're playing 2K 3 years ago, you would have paused 2K. Hold on, let me, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you get ready to, you know, to do the whole thing. So I think in terms of that, that's something to look at too. Now, I agree. That's why I said I disagree just to that extent. I agree with what you said, though. If that's really love and that's really somebody who you really, you know, connect with. And, you know, and when we say connect, it's not just like we have things in common. It's more to connecting than that. I think, you know, just being able to sit with that person and going to them to laugh, going to them to cry, going to them to be happy, going to them when you're sad, going to them when you're angry, right? Going to that person when you're hungry, right? Like things like real shit though. I think that when you got that and it's serious, the idea of falling out of love or no longer loving that person, it isn't real. But then again, my point about people changing and life changing and we evolving as people, I think sometimes you may develop a trait that is toxic, you know? I think people have toxic traits, and I think that when you're with someone, and this is speaking from experience, when you're with someone and you're with them for a long time, you begin to pick up on some things about their character that you simply don't like. And that is fine, you know? Like, we're not perfect. Yeah. But, like, depending on the, I guess, extent of it, of that toxic trait or that trait that they have that you just really can't get down with, that could determine, I strongly believe that can determine, you know, how the relationship would look. And if you begin to lose interest in your relationship, you begin to lose interest in the person. If you begin to lose interest in the person, it's not that you don't love them anymore, but you're not in love with them anymore. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but, like, at the same time, though, it's like, were they ever really meant for you, though? Like, were you just meant to be a chapter?
That's a good question. I mean, and that's going into, you know...
It's like a book.
Yeah, the way you look at life, I guess. But I think that, for the most part, I wouldn't go off every time you break up with somebody, I won't say, this is me, we're totally different people. That's why you're my co-host, is because, you know, we contrast each other in so many ways. And also, you know... Have similarities. Yeah. But, like, no, it depends on... I think that if... Every time I break up with a girlfriend, I'm not gonna say, "Oh, we were never a thing." No, I don't think that's fair. Because what about the moments when you guys went on a date and you guys had a really good date night, right? Yeah. What about the time when you first met her and there was sparks, or the time you guys first had feelings for each other? You know what I mean? Like, well, you're gonna say like we were never meant for each other. Like, you can't, in my opinion, I don't know, you can't ignore that. You can't ignore, moments like that. The first time you guys kissed, the first time you met her father, her mother, and whatever, right? So, I don't know, but I just think that, people could be chapters. I definitely see that. I definitely have some people who came across my life, and as of April 13th, 2021, as an 18-year-old male, soon be 19 in 2 weeks, they have not appeared, right? So, I mean, that's true. So, I don't know, but I wouldn't say it's not like, I wouldn't say it was never been real. I can say there's been a time, I mean, I'll put it to you like this. You could ask, was that person ever 100% like there? Like, when did
things go south?
That's what I'm saying. Like, when, okay, at some point you gave 100% of your time in this relationship, right? Mm-hmm. When did you go from first to second? Right. Like, when did it go from 100% to 95? and from 95 to 80, and from 80 to 65, and from, you know, and so on. So and I think that is how you could determine that. And the question of what you're asking, was it ever real? I wouldn't say was it ever real. When did things start to die down? But no, at the same time, people have, like I'm going back to the whole human analogy I gave. People change, and that's fine. Like that's okay. And like, you know, and another topic, and I have it here on the notes that I wanted to get at was, do you really like? How do you get over somebody? You know what I'm saying? Like, how or do you really? And I think the biggest first step into getting over somebody, I think, is to accept what happened and be okay with it. I don't know. What do you think?
Okay, so I feel like you just need to realize, like, you know, we were meant to help each other grow in one way or another. Like, whether it was really good, really bad, you know, kind of piggybacking off of what you said.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like, you can reminisce on those happy times, but it's just, like, at the end of the day, the relationship's over. The only way to move is forward. You know, time doesn't stop for no man. And I just feel like you need to look at it like, you know what, people come into your life, and it's either you teach them a lesson or they teach you one.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that's what it really is. But with the people, you know, giving you, like, 100% and then, you know, having that percentage eventually dwindle down to almost nothing, were they ever really meant for you in the first place? I don't know. Because the right people will give you their time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's people who...
I agree with that solely.
Like, there's people that you will come across in your lifetime who will see you in their spare time, or who will, like, you know, use their time for you.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, and that brings...
And that's what really, I feel like, determines that whole question. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, were you ever really in love with them in the first place? Were they really in love with you?
So then, let me ask you this then. Let's feed it.
And it's like, also, did you ever really know them? You know what I mean? Because you have to, like those traits over time that they show you, if you really knew them before that, maybe they already, like, had them, and you just didn't know. Because sometimes love blinds you.
I don't know about that one, because, okay, now let's be honest here.
Let's be honest, all right.
Let's break this down, because that was I don't know about that one. Okay, hold on, whoa there.
I saw that one coming.
No, that's a good point. I'm not knocking your point, but I'm simply gonna break this down and see if you think the same way after. And if you do, you do. Maybe I should do some deep thinking myself. I don't know. The way I could say this, I'm possibly wrong, right? I'm just giving you my. All right. So I'm not saying what I'm saying is right at all, but here we go. Okay, so you said this person had those traits all along, right?
Well, they could have.
Okay.
They could have.
So if they did, you think that it's always been there? Okay.
Yeah, that's possible.
Now I'm gonna ask you a question. This isn't a relationship, so this is probably a bad example, but in a way it also connects to what we're talking about. It's a relationship between two people. It does not have to be romantic at all.
Yeah.
Okay. You and me, we met each other freshman year of high school, 18 years old. Fast forward 10 years.
You mean college?
Oh, wow. Sorry, college. Thank you.
You're welcome.
10 years down the line, so 28. Let's say, and forbid this, please, I develop a really bad drinking problem. I develop a seriously bad... I drink when I eat breakfast. I drink when I'm, like, about to eat lunch, and I drink every... let's just say somehow, somewhere, I develop a really bad drinking problem, right? Okay. Would you say then that if I've always been a drunk? Now, let me fix that though. Before you answer that, that's not fair, because that's an addiction, to be fair. Yes. But I'm talking about the trait of being addictive. I don't know. I think I've completely lost my train of thought. But you get what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna answer it this way. So, with the picture you painted.
Yeah, that was a really bad analogy.
No, it wasn't. But let's just say you are drinking, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Like, you can't function without something. Maybe it's not the drinking necessarily itself. Maybe it's just, the physically doing something at those times. Maybe you've always done that your whole life, just with something else. It doesn't have to be a substance, so to say. It could just be, emotion.
Right.
And you probably carried that trait throughout your life. That's
what you think?
Yes, I do.
I respect that. I don't know. I kind of lost the point I was trying to make with, like, me trying to paint that picture. But what I was basically trying to say is that I feel like people just develop things. That was my point on that. That was my sole point, was that people develop traits. And I don't feel like all the time people carry those traits. Now, I think people can. I'm not saying that's impossible. I think people can, right? But I don't know, like, because I'm gonna tell a little story here. Story time. I have a friend, and this is real. This is me being real. So I have a friend, right? And this friend and we've been friends for years. And for years, we kind of been pretty close buds. I would say we've been really, like, I consider that person a brother of mine. I consider that person someone who I really, like,
trust and love.
And I would take a bullet for. But as of recent, we've gone our own paths. And I think that, I'm just now in college. Oh, shit. I'm just now in college and I'm doing my own thing. And, I'm kind of over the high school stuff. And that's smoking, sitting on your ass and chilling and talking about hoes, clothes, and money, and what rapper did this and what rapper did that. Oh, who's this? Oh, she bad on Instagram. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm over that.
Like that lifestyle.
There's nothing wrong with that in some ways, but I'm over that. That's just me. And I feel like for a long time, this person, I'm not going to name drop, kind of stood on that kind of life, and we've gone our own paths. I left them where they were comfortable. I'm not going to say I left them behind in what I'm doing in my life. I went off to college. I met great people like you, and so many different other people. I moved on. I took my route. I went straight, and he kind of took a little right turn. And I think that, like, considering all that, I'm not going to say, like, oh, he had those traits those whole times. You know what I'm saying? I feel like people change. People just change. And people either change for the better or for the worse. And that's what I was trying to kind of get at, is that, like, I'm not going to sit here and say you was always like that. Nah, because at one point we was best buds. You came to my crib. You know what I'm saying? We chilled, this, that, and the third. But, feel me? I'm not going to say you always got on that. I feel like, you started experiencing more. Life took you on its journey, and life pushed you around, and you adapted. And I adapted too. We just went on two separate paths. So I say that to say, I don't know. I don't think all the time people really carry those or have those traits from origin. I think things could be developed, and things could be, formed into a person. And sometimes it could do good, and sometimes it could do bad. Now, besides the whole friend thing, though, now back to the topic of love, right? Because a relationship is a relationship. Friendship, marriage relationship, relationship with your dog, like the point of a relationship, right? I think that in a relationship, people could find out that, they just never really had, after a while, they just never really had the desire to do things. They don't have that. There's not that spark. There's that butterfly. Now, if you're someone out there who probably says, "Hey, I was the person who lost love. I actually lost love in something," you could ask yourself if you want. I've been in that position where I'm like, okay, I'm not really feeling things no more. But I'm not gonna say things were never real. Like because then you wasted your time and that person's time. So, I don't know, but. That's what I think. I just don't feel like,
Well, yes, but, like, I'm sorry. The way I described it, it seemed very black and white, like, very, like, that's that all the time.
Right.
But, there's room for flexibility with that type of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. It's
like, people can develop traits, I guess, but, like, I feel like it just, you know, depends on what it is. It's just like, you know, it's either they actually develop the trait or they're showing their true colors. You never really know. Yeah. It's like a roll of the dice. You don't know.
I will tell you one thing, though. It is scary. Just the idea of it. And I guess, like, you know, just to kind of sum this up. It is scary. It's a very scary thing when, like, you think this is the person you're going to be with, and then you think that this is the person you're going to marry, and that, you know, if the love is that deep and you guys have gone that far, but you think this is you're playing your life with this person and all that. It is scary to think how one day you could possibly wake up and then know that, like, that's not who you're with anymore, especially after investing time and energy and so much with that person. Things just kind of, like, don't work out anymore. I think that, like, I don't know, it's a very scary feeling. So to fall out of love, right? You know, I'll say this. When you love somebody, and Lauryn Hill said this on the end of, she put a little segment in the end of that song, That Thing. I don't want to get copyrighted. Song. We played it on the road trip.
Oh,
yeah, you know, I don't want to sing because you feel me, copyright. I don't know how that works. I gotta do my research. But there was a segment at the end of it that said, okay, when you love somebody, you take that person for who or she is, for what he or she look like, and for what he or she do. Mm-hmm. I think that's love. I agree with that. Now, for a person to then wake up to now taking what that said, right? For a person to now wake up and no longer want to have you as their significant other or whatever the relationship is, I think that it's a scary feeling. And it's something, I don't know, how do you combat that? How do you avoid that? Because here's what I feel about love, and this is a very strong opinion, but the reason why I don't allow myself to love easy, or the reason why I'm very, like, genuine, and when I tell people, if I tell you I love you, I mean that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I tell you, like, yo, bro, like, love you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? That's real. And the reason that is because the thing about love is, and this connects to my point, pain comes along with that. A part of the package of love is pain. And that's why when somebody fuck me over, and this is me talking personally, like, when you fuck me over, I take that shit so personal. It's personal. Like, I don't fuck with the reason, and that's why I really don't fuck with love, because it's like, bro, I don't love easy because I know love come with pain. And if you fuck me over or if you do some scumbag shit to me, I take that so personal because, one, I am the most caring, and this ain't arrogant, this is me. I'm gonna be one of the most caring, honest, realist, authentic, organic people you're ever gonna meet in your life, because I know my worth, and I know who I am, and I know what I bring to the exactly. So how do you combat that fear of, like, that person possibly falling out of love with you? How? Because if you're gonna love, hurt gonna come with it. Yeah. It's inevitable. Pain is inevitable. I know. And that's why I'm aware pain is inevitable. But that's why at the same time, I be careful in what I give my energy to and what I invest my time into for me to say I love it. So when some fuck shit happen, it's no pain to it because I know I don't even really care about it. You could go that way with that and I won't give a flying fuck. So it's a really interesting thing. It's scary.
Yeah, I'm very careful with who I break my bread with. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of this, like, I'm very similar with that. Like, goes with relationships. When I say I love you to my family, it's just like, you know, if I'm saying I mean that. Right. You know.
And if you grew up like me, where, I mean, I came from a loving home. My mother loved me. You know, my stepfather loved me. You know, I have a very loving family. But if you came from places where I came from, where you see love is not really a thing of, it's not really a character trait. It's not really something that is there in the community. I mean, I had it in the home, and that's where it mattered the most, and that's why I am the man I am today, and I'm thankful for the man I am today because I had loving parents and I have a loving family with a loving home. Yes. But like I said, back to the community, when you have seen that, you be wise on who you tell I love you to, because I'm telling you right now, I know dudes who tell they like, yo, like, feel me? Yeah, bro, like, you feel me? I love my guys, you know what I'm saying? You know, all my guys is here, blah, 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 blah. You know, shout out my boys. They shout out their boys, they show love to their boys. But I'm telling you, in that group of 5 or 6 boys he talking about, probably like 1 or 2 of them would do him slime in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat, bro. Like, it's like, I don't know, bro. Like, back to my point, I don't really give my attention to things that, like, I know don't really matter, because I don't want to build love for it, and then after that I don't want to feel the pain for it, because pain is something serious, and like I said, it's personal, because when you know you put out good things into the world, and somehow, some way, you get a pain, not by anything but like a person, or like someone who is just like a scum, like someone who just screwed you over, it's like the biggest slap in the face, and like, it's just trash as fuck. And I think that is, I don't know, it's something that I try to avoid. And this is like me, a little venting session. This whole thing just kind of turned into a venting session for me. But yeah, man, I definitely say that for real, bro. Like, yeah. But anyway, man, I don't know. If you love someone, I'll leave it off with this. If you love somebody and you and that person really have a connection and things are working out, I'm happy for you, because that is something a lot of people don't have and they wish they did. And it's just not just with marital, but, you know, having the guy or girl you want, but I mean love, period. The topic of love and what love is just like, it's like, I feel like a conversation like this could go on for hours. But nah, if you have someone, don't take it for granted. Don't, you know, try and do anything to sabotage what you have. Don't put anything in jeopardy, because I'm here, and I'll tell you now, from my years of experience, I'm only 18. I'm pretty sure you could agree with this too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
When you fuck something up, or when not even you fuck it up, but like when something that had real love gets fucked up, it takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on you. And this is not just, you know, boyfriend and girlfriend. This is anything, a friendship. I have friendships that have ended, and I really wish me and that person could fix things.
Could work things out.
I wish, you know, I have friends, you know, former friends. I'm like, damn, we really had a lot of potential. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why, you know, I continue to live my life, because then you go on, don't let that stop you, and then you meet new friends. And you have new friends who point out the good things in you, and then you point out the good things in them, and y'all expand on that potential, and then they end up becoming the co-host of your podcast. Anyway,
thanks for that.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, man, I think I'm gonna just, you know, leave it like that. I'm gonna leave it like that.
This conversation could go on for hours.
It could go on for hours.
It could.
Yeah.
There's just, oh God, it's just, we're too young. Like,
yeah, I don't know, and that's why I like to attack questions like this. And that's right, we are too young, and that's okay.
But
like, we don't know everything, and like,
and that's okay. This is just what we know now.
This is why we do teen talk fucking segments. Is because this is teen talk.
Our answer in like 5 years could be completely different.
Right, like, and I don't expect to think the way I do, but like I said, we evolve. Going back to what I said at the beginning of this episode, but that is fine. We are young. That's why we do this. This is the Santiago show. It's raw. It's uncut. It's organic. It's authentic. And I'm just happy to fucking be here, man. Anyway,
we just keep keeping it real.
Fuck it. Anyway, man, you already know. It's your host, Nakai Santiago, and I'm here with Jess.
And I'm here with Nick.
And this was fun. This is our second episode together. I'm so excited. Yes. We got a lot of good feedback from the first episode, so, you know, I'm expecting things to go real well in the future. But then again, you know, we do this because we love it, and not because we don't care what anybody thinks. And I think that this is really dope. So
this is dope.
Shout out to you.
Good shit.
Love you, dog.
Love you too.
All right. Anyway, keep your shoelaces tied. Do you know why I say that? I think I told you why.
I think you did.
I say keep your shoelaces tied, and I've said this like probably 3 or 4 times in other episodes, but it's my own expression I made up, and it was inspired by Troy Dan when he says keep your stick on the ice. Troy Dan is one of my favorite YouTubers. Shout out Troy Dan. But he says keep your stick on the ice, hockey. Mm-hmm. You know, I say keep your shoelaces tied, which means just keep your shit together. You know, if you have loose shoelaces, you're probably going to fall out of them. You don't want to fall out your shoes now. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's that. Keep your shoelaces tied. It's Nakai Santiago. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Be safe, be smart, and mask up for sure. All right, guys.